There are more people living in hotels and motels than there are apartments, and that's why hotels and motels do monthly deals, because at the end of the day, it's still cheaper than living in a goddamn apartment.
About like how it's kind of cheaper to actually get a hotel monthly instead of renting out an apartment. I ain't gonna hold you. I don't know where the hell that cheaper came in at, but it definitely wouldn't be cheaper. Trust me, I know. Honestly, for how rent be looking
Nah,
now,
definitely not.
it's around the same thing. So if you paying for a hotel that's already furnished and everything, and you don't really got to pay for nothing, internet, nothing, that's about the same as having one of these apartments around here that's in a good area. Now they still got, the apartments in the hood and all that. But I ain't gonna lie, that's an option for folks that they need to lay their head. Like for people with bad credit like me, like I had to
Yeah,
find a
yeah.
hotel I had it for like a month. I ain't gonna lie, I paid over a good 2,000 though. So yeah, that shit, man. Well, no, I don't think it was that much, but that shit was a lot. But now it is sweet though with the utilities and all that included. Now if you paying like 1,500 for an apartment, then on top of that you gotta pay the other bills. Like that shit crazy out here.
After being homeless, living in my car for
Well, I mean, he brought up a good point, but I mean, I think the main thing is, I guess if you got to start from scratch with furniture, factor in moving costs as well, you ultimately get to travel kind of light in a way. So I guess that gives you more freedom and especially freedom of mobility. But aside from that, I don't think that is worth it. I think most people end up getting stuck having to do it because of their records, their reputations, and that can be criminal, that can be eviction, that can be credit, like you mentioned. I think that's why a lot of people end up in those situations. Even if you don't have bad credit, there's some people who've never built their credit and they have to end up either getting a cosigner or having to be in a hotel. I think most average people, if they can have their choice, they would just rather get their own place. You know, it's going to come with much better accommodations, and it's just ultimately going to be much more convenient. Sometimes we can look at things as far as tallying up all the prices and all that good stuff, but it's also important to look at the totality of the value as well in general, right? So I think all in all, I think it's worth it just to get an apartment. But what we're going to be looking at, a lot of people just like us working regular jobs, regular 9 to 5, just regular everyday people, is becoming more and more rampant that people are ending up staying in hotels, motels, and they're making it work. So let's get back into it, y'all. Before we do, if you could like the video, I greatly appreciate it. Only takes a second, and it actually helps out more than you know. And also, if you could hype.
It included. Now if you paying like 1,500 for an apartment, then on top of that you gotta pay the other bills. Like that shit crazy out here.
After being homeless, living in my car for 5 years, today is day 30 of living in a long term stay hotel. And honestly, this has come together really well. There is no credit checks, there is no income requirements. You can stay as short or as long as you want, and there is no huge deposits that usually cost thousands of dollars. So, this has really worked out well for us. And this is just a day in our life.
What type of deposits are y'all paying where it's thousands of dollars? Y'all paying thousands of dollars in deposits? Maybe if you rent out a home from a private seller or something. I think now what a lot of places are doing is they're doing the deposit in proportion to your credit. So I guess, yeah, for a lot of people with bad credit, maybe they charge y'all more for deposits, but thousands of dollars, I don't think I've ever in my life paid a deposit that was thousands of dollars.
Of dollars. So this has really worked out well for us. And this is just a day in our life, me and my best friend Bandit. And I'm also a full-time gig worker. So I'm just kind of straightening up my car and getting it ready for my shift tonight.
Full-time gig
A lot
worker.
of people have criticized me for living in a hotel, but it is less expensive than a one-bedroom apartment. Like I was talking about the deposits. Not only that, but the monthly amount is less than a one bedroom apartment would cost. And that's not even factoring in the fact that you don't have to pay for water, electricity, trash. They even provide things like toilet paper and trash bags and things like that. So thank you all for watching. And if you'd like to help support our channel and our journey, you could join our Patreon page, or you could also go to my link tree and buy a cup of coffee. I hope you have a great night.
Oh wow. So he's a full-time gig worker, so I think he had to make the accommodation based off being a gig worker just to still be able to have the flexibility in his budget to be able to do other things. And it seems like he's just trying to be creative and come up with money. I doubt that it could be probably paying off that crazy, but I think by him lowering his expenses, he might be in a good area where he was able to find a place that was, less than what it costs to stay in an apartment or whatever. But ultimately, I guess this now facilitates making it possible for him to live off being a full-time gig worker pay. Because if you could see, like he does that for real, like he takes it serious. He even had a little basket in there for, I guess, the people that he picks up to like get a snack or get a bag of chips or whatever. So he's making this his real profession, which I wouldn't recommend because you really don't have no control over it. Hey, take advantage of it while you can, but I wouldn't be treating this like a long-term thing. And the longer you decide to waste time in being a full-time gig worker, especially if you're not able to save a lot that can contribute to your net worth, the more time you could have been gaining experience in a career that would have ultimately made you more valuable as time went on. So there is a definite and legitimate opportunity cost that I feel like he may be, you know, missing out on.
So I'm asked so many times, how much do I save by actually staying in a hotel? So here I kind of jotted it down based on our area, and I'm going to share with you how much we save by choosing to stay in a hotel instead of actually renting an apartment. I'm doing this in comparison of like a 2 bed, 1 bath, basic standard apartment here in the Pensacola area, which on the lower end you're going to find for about $1,600 a month. Now, you know, to move in, you're going to need the first month and the last month. You're going to have to be able to prove that 3 times that 1,600. And if they have any background checks, security checks, you're going to be paying that as well. So moving in here, at the most, the deposit was $100. But since we had did it numerous times, we did not have to pay it. But however, the deposit would have been $100, but we did not have to pay a deposit. We paid the $307 to move in. Now, also, let's talk about utilities. On an average, about a $200 a month power bill. We're going to talk about water and your sewage. Approximately about 80. Trash service about 50, because it's like 147 every 3 months. Your Wi-Fi cable approximately 100 a month, give or take. So on an average, what I've came up with that we save is about 740 on an average a month by choosing the hotel life instead of the apartment life, so we can actually save a little money while we stay here. So that's kind of why we choose it. That's the
Hmm.
breakdown. Y'all like, share, and follow for more.
The caption says, point of view. I know y'all can't see it. Point of view, you've been living in a hotel for almost a year, and this is what morning mornings look like. She doesn't know how to spell morning. She spelled it Mornoons. Mornoons.
All right, we're gonna go wash. So go ahead and clean that up so you can eat. I'm gonna wash my feet too.
It's funny, like if you see the space and just how her and her daughter are cohabitating. I would say like to the average American, like you would feel so bad and you'd be like, "Oh my gosh, this is horrible. Like they're living bad." I don't look at it like that. I don't see it as they're living bad. I would recommend more people need to start getting studio apartments because I don't know who told them that you need to have all these rooms and all this, and everybody gets a room. While meanwhile you can't afford to actually save something for yourself every month, just like that woman and her husband were doing. I recommend that. You need to set up your life in a way to where you can actually keep something to show for your hard work at the end of the month and ideally at the end of the year. A year shouldn't go by where you look back and you done worked all this and broke down your body and all this good stuff and you don't have anything that contributed to your net worth, because I see a lot of people aren't really focusing on retirement at all. Like it's not a thing. And then it's like while you were young, you didn't focus on it. And so when you get older, then you have to be taken care of. Right. So the reason I was going to say most people will look at her situation and be like, oh, this is that looks horrible. I can't imagine just being in a hotel room. Man, it's people living in Thailand. It's people living in Dubai, and their spaces is around that size too. If you go, it's people living abroad, living their best life. And if you live abroad in a lot of places, a lot of times you live in a lot smaller spaces. It's really in America where it's like if you have a family, like you have land and a house and all the space. But listen, I feel like you need to live within what your budget decides. Don't just be trying to live up to an expectation and you don't even know where the expectation came with to begin with. There's people in certain countries living in tents. You'll be all right. No matter how you slice it, dice it, it's a box at the end of the day. It's a square box that you living in, and you should have other things outside of it anyway. Let's get back into it.
Look, I put this in here because they said that the flies be getting in there on food and laying eggs.
They lay eggs on their mama, and then can you even see it?
If you look close, it's like white.
That's why I always analyze my food before I eat it, especially at like restaurants and stuff.
They want a 75 hard. Let's see. Is my app working? Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Woo!
I live in a motel room with my pregnant.
See what I mean? Listen, life's what you make it. You know what I'm saying? She's going after her fitness goals. Her and her daughter, they're real close, intimate space. I'm sure they got a lot of time to spend time together. They're not separating. They're gonna be close after this. So again, you'll be okay. Just do what you have to do to make sure that you can start getting sustainable in life. Don't worry about the constructs that other people say, you should expect to live like. Live like what your means dictate that you can live. Dictate how you can live. His caption, like he just said, I live in a motel with my pregnant wife and 2 cats. Let's check it out.
Wife and 2 cats. Let's come check it out. So the first thing is this little door right here. I like these because all you got to do is press in the combination instead of having the key, and bam, it opens right up for you. And this is the inside right here. We got the kitchen, we got the little fridge, we got the sink, we got the oven, plenty cabinet space. This is the living room / dining room / bedroom area. This is where the magic happens at right here, you know what I mean? Got a little nightstand over here, nightstand over here. Management's real cool. Black Hat Jimmy's the manager. He said I can rearrange this any way I want to, you know what I mean? Plenty of closet space there. Then we go to the bathroom. My old lady's in the bathroom. I don't know. Hello? Can I come in? So we got the bathroom here, We got wifey in here cleaning it. Got one of the cats in here, Plenty of tub space. There's a closet behind that wall right there. And now the best part, for last, show y'all outside. And then you see big TV. You spin it any way you want to. And then outside we got paradise, y'all. We got the shuffleboard over here on the left-hand side, the little picnic tables. We got the hammock over here in case you want to come out here and get you some rest. It just rained, so excuse me, you know, it's South Florida, it happens. Got the tiki bar over there next to where you can go play the shuffleboard at. You know, we got another little garden area set up over here with the umbrella, and got the laundry room over there. You know, that's a necessity. Parking on both sides. And then the best part, y'all, the pool right here, right? We got the pool open all year round. You know, it never gets cold down here. And one block that way, you'll have your feet in the sand. Less than 120-second walk. Hey, you gotta love it. Paradise. You ever in South Florida on Ocean Boulevard, in the Pompano Beach or Fort Lauderdale or surrounding areas, come see Black Hat Jimmy at Sea Cove, baby. Make you feel right at home.
So I
Hey man, B Rabbit making it sound real good, ain't he? B Rabbit, is that what the dude was name on Malibu's Most Wanted? B Rabbit, boy, he's selling it. He's selling it real good. And see, ladies, that's why it's good to have a man, even in destitution. You know, sometimes men, we can be extra optimistic when we don't have no reason to be. Extra, we like we got the lounge area with the fire pit right here, and we got the infinity pool over here. He gonna put his little flair on it, you know what I'm saying, and keep things fun, keep a nice little environment. You don't gotta, she's pregnant, they got cats, and shoot, he's keeping it fun, he's keeping it lively. So, I'm not mad at it, man. Do what you gotta do. Listen, your frequency is what you frequently see. So he's got a great perspective. He's taking it in stride. And shoot, you don't have to listen, man. People come on here. Oh my gosh, I'm in a hotel. Y'all to get my cash app. I'm down on my luck. Yeah, you keep seeing it like that. This is a part of your chapter. This is a chapter of your life. Shoot, go through it with grace. Go through it with poise, and just take it one day at a time. Keep moving. It's gonna be ups. It's gonna be downs, but you just got to keep moving, and you got to keep trying.
found a hotel that would let me stay there week to week instead of hopping around and stuff like that. So I'm gonna go pay my due. Where are my glasses? I'm always looking for these glasses, but I'm gonna go pay the rent, and we're gonna move in there tomorrow. And I'm sharing my journey about being homeless and the journey of having to live in hotels and the journey of not having family to depend on or not having people to really, help you. And they don't have to. I'm not saying that they have to, but I'm just sharing my journey, and I'm not embarrassed. I'm not afraid. I am afraid, but I'm not scared. The journey to me getting back into society as far as finding me an apartment. And I know it's like, how you gonna find an apartment when you can barely pay the bills in your hotel room, right? I know. God's gonna supply, honey. God gonna supply. God is gonna move things. So,
man, just because you gotta stay in hotels and stuff right now, that don't mean you homeless. A hotel ain't nothing but an apartment without a contract that you can just pay for every day.
Really,
Just think
that's
about
really
it.
all it is.
If you really wanna get to the meat and potatoes of the situation, every day we go to work, divide your rent by 30 days. And most of us probably paying about $40 or $50 a day out of the money we make every day. These folks got daily pay on jobs now where you can cash out on your money right then and there. You ain't got to wait on nothing. So if you really want to run your
What?
money up, or you really need somewhere to stay,
Jobs is doing daily pay now? I wouldn't like that. I would not like that. Daily pay? No, I like getting a portion and figuring out how to live off that and allocating it and taking the percentages out. Getting daily pay, that just confuses things a little too much. Too much. But hey, I mean, I didn't know that. I never heard of that. Daily pay?
it ain't no excuse for you if you got a car and you can get on DoorDash or one of these apps to make you some money every day. Shit, you make you $150, $200 a day, take 50, pay for your room. It's the same thing as staying in one of these apartments. Same thing. You can run your money up the same way. Get your credit right. Like, it really ain't no excuses out here, man. So If you staying in a hotel right now, that don't mean you homeless. It's the same thing, literally. You just ain't signing no long contract and doing the credit check and all that.
Okay, TikTok. It's been a minute.
I'm not mad at that as far as like, what the, because he made a good point. And the point that he made was y'all looking at this completely wrong. Like, at the end of the day, you paying for shelter. They're all just boxes. They're all just squares with, um, slabs of wood and posts and then drywall over top of it. And then we furnish it and we kind of like spice it up and make it our own. But at the end of the day, man, you just need somewhere to lay your head, rest, especially if you're trying to get out of a certain spot that you are in life. So I definitely agree with that. I like the fact as far as he's like, yeah, just take it one day at a time. Whatever you make that day, then you can pay for your hotel. And he was saying there's no excuse because you got good gig work, even though you would be depreciating your car. So while you're depreciating your car and you're still on the clock with that, what I would like to see is that you're appreciating your knowledge and your skills. So that doesn't mean like, oh, I survived another night. Now I can watch Netflix. No, you need to be like, soon as you get out that car and you done made what you and earned what you need to earn, and ideally, even while you're in that car, man, have some headphones in, have an audio book, a course, whatever. Like you need to be really trying to get your skills together so that you can ultimately just get into something that'll be more stable. Like there are careers, there are things you can do to where you'll never have to worry about that type of stuff again, and it'll completely transform your life. But there's going to be a little friction at the beginning. It's not going to be easy. And you don't want it to be easy, by the way, because if it's easy, then everybody would do it, like gig work, right? So that is the barrier to entry. But if you're willing to do that, do something a little difficult and then stay the course after that, then you'll have something special. And then you'll have something that can't be easily stripped away from you because it's not easy. His caption
Since I
says, is
talked
it
to
worth
y'all,
it?
but I need y'all to tell me if I'm crazy about something. So I live in this big, nice, beautiful townhome. It's a new construction. Not the nicest house I've lived in, even though it's a new construction. It's not the nicest house I've lived in, but it's beautiful and I'm thankful. However, I'm gonna be real transparent with y'all. I pay $2,600 a month to live in this townhouse. Now, to some of y'all, that's astronomical, and to some of y'all, that's not as much as you pay where you live. If you were in like Miami or somewhere high profile in California, you probably pay a little bit more than that.
Do you got
We're not
kids?
even going to talk about New York prices. But I was doing some studying and some number crunching, and I actually came to a very vivid realization. If I lived in a hotel or an extended stay, I would save over $1,000 a month versus if I lived in my own townhome or single family unit or whatever.
Or
Right
an
now,
apartment?
currently, it's just me and my kids,
Okay, you
and
got
it
kids.
doesn't really sound horrible. In an economy like this, it's kind of like, yes, everybody, your TikTok friends who are living in hotels are actually fucking geniuses.
If you don't know,
Didn't I call it? Didn't I call it? So he's got kids. So he just believes because I got kids and it's me, we each got to have our own room and it's got to be what society deems as normal. All at the expense of you not being able to save. Because that's a lot of overhead, almost $3,000 a month in rent alone. I know you got a vehicle and then you got kids. Dude, all in all, like your hard overhead expenses have to be at least $5,000 a month. And that's hard expenses. And keep in mind, expenses are net, they're not gross. So whatever you gross at work, gross is before taxes get taken out. Net is what you actually see in your bank account after taxes get taken out. Everything that you pay, expense wise, is coming out of net. But what you make, you don't see everything that you make and you don't get to actually keep that. So I just don't see it, man. Like, what do you do? Or is it just you two? And is it not another income as well? A woman? Are you a single father? That's steep, man. You can't be having that type of overhead unless you just have an incredible job. I'm gonna just be real. You need to rethink what you need, what you think that you need. If you got 3 kids, you might just need to get you a 2 bedroom apartment that is, instead of you paying 2,600, it's 1,800. It's probably not going to be in the best neighborhood, but it won't be in the worst neighborhood. But that's what you're gonna have to do, unless you can say something otherwise, because that is a lot of overhead in America. Unless you're really raking it in, you're not meant to take on that type of overhead like with a regular job in America, unless you just have a great tech job or just a great job, a senior role. But the way I don't think that's the case if he's just saying he'd be able to save $1,000, because that tells us you're living check to check right now, struggling. So needs to address that, cut back for sure. Don't matter what nobody say, what nobody think.
Now you gonna know. Because the other crazy thing that I learned doing gig apps is that there are an enormous amount of people who are living in hotels. Entire families living in a room. They're buying full on groceries, living in a room. And the entire hotel looks like it is inhabited by families. It is crazy to me that these hotels are making so much money. And granted, they did not cause the issue. However, they certainly are capitalizing on it. If you
Capitalizing.
are paying $100 a night for a hotel room with no protections, rental protections, what have you, in an entire month, that's $3,000. $3,000 to live in a room.
Um, she's thinking about when she tries to get a hotel, like it'll be like $100. What you got to remember is that hotels fluctuate depending on the day. There are more priority days than others. So typically, when people get hotels, it's usually not during the week, right? It's usually on the weekend when everybody would need a hotel. So people are only thinking of those prices, the weekend prices, typically when they think about how much a hotel costs. But if you look at it like during a week, like on a random Tuesday, Wednesday, whatever, they probably be significantly less. As well as these people may, like a lot of these people are staying in extended stay type of hotels, which will typically work like a deal. And a lot of times, even like you'll sign some type of lease, like some people were talking about with those hotels. So it's not as simple as just you taking prime day rates and then extrapolating that over the month. It's not that simple. So it wouldn't just equate out to $3,000 like she's saying. And again, then I tell you, it's going to be people who are like, I can't believe it. That's horrible. You're staying in a hotel. I feel bad. Ma'am, it's a box with walls and posts and drywall. It'll be all right. As long as y'all got somewhere to sleep, as long as y'all got each other, that's just part of the journey. It'll be okay. And like I said, in other countries, did you know, is it Japan where people are sleeping in coffins just about stacked on top of each other with barely any room at all, smaller than a bathroom, the average bathroom? And it's like, it's literally designed like a coffin. Doesn't have a high ceiling whatsoever. Like it's crazy. We'll be okay. We'll be okay.
That you have to be out of by 11 o'clock. It is crazy. One time I was delivering groceries. This was the saddest thing in my mind. I was delivering groceries to a hotel. And I was a little annoyed because she was on like the second floor and it was a lot of stuff. When I got up there, I see this woman who is 9 months pregnant. And I'm just going to say she's a white woman because she was. And the reason why I'm saying that is because people have a tendency to think that this is all people who are minorities. It was a white woman who was 9 months pregnant. And I'm loading all of this stuff onto her.
I'm laughing because we just watched another white woman who was pregnant, and B Rabbit had her on the floor still scrubbing the toilet. I don't know if she was 9 months pregnant. She was pregnant though. He said, "Nah, baby, you still gotta clean." She was on her hands and knees scrubbing that toilet, pregnant. Ma'am, she complained, "Oh my gosh, I feel so bad. She's pregnant in a hotel." Ma'am, it's people pregnant living in their cars. In their cars. A hotel is shelter. That's good. It's not the end of the world.
Her bed. And she's saying to me that she's going to have to go to the hospital tomorrow. And she just wanted to make sure she had enough stuff in the room so she wouldn't have to go out when she got back.
Matter of fact, it's people living in tents. I done reviewed it. It's people are living in tents. Cars, tents. You must not know what's going on out here, ma'am. You gotta read the room. You gotta get a pulse of what's really happening in America right now. It's wild. It's pretty wild. And there's some people doing it by choice. Keep in mind. Don't even have to. Just doing it by choice. Like we reviewed a few people in this video. Y'all, we'll leave it there for today. If you like the video, I greatly appreciate it. Only takes a second, and it actually helps out more than you know. And also, if you can hype the video, hype is a new feature that YouTube offers where it helps smaller content creators like myself. And basically, when you hype, it actually pushes us to the extent that it pushes the larger content creators. So you just press the hype button and it shows the points. And since I am a smaller creator, a smaller channel, we actually get more points per hype. And hype was designed for smaller channels, so that's why. And if you go to a video and you don't see the hype available, then it's probably been 7 days. And hype usually vanishes after 7 days. So that's probably why. And then also, if you want to become a member, you can see that join button on this video. You can just press the join button. And what becoming a member of the DXU family would entail is you will get badges that show next to your comments. So people see that you're a member anytime you comment, and it has that prestige. And then as well as you will get access to early content as well as exclusive content. So if you want to become a member, again, you can press that join button. But until then, I'll catch you all in the next video.